Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel, or if you are new here, I am Silver Shepherd and I talk about anything and everything gold and silver related. And today we're diving into a question that I get asked all the time. How would you start a silver stack today even with prices as high as they are? And we're seeing all-time highs at $56. And honestly, I get that. Silver's not cheap anymore. The days of $20, $25, $30 silver are gone for now. Here's the thing that remains the same. People are still stacking. People are still building wealth with silver, and the smart stackers are adapting and not panicking to this. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly how I would start a brand new silver stack in 2025. Step by step, and even with prices at the all-time high of $56. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. So before you stack even a single ounce, you have to start with the right mindset. A lot of beginners today are stuck thinking it's like 2018, 2020, and they expect silver to be $20, $25 all over again. And they wait, they hesitate, they think they missed the boat. But here's the truth. $56 is the new normal for the global economy we're in, or even $50. Premiums are lower than they've been in years, and the long-term fundamentals have not changed a bit since then. If you stack with the belief that price will magically crash, you'll never start. If you stack understanding silver is a long-term hedge and not a get-rich-quick play, you'll win. Think of silver like you think of buying a house. Prices change, but the value stays. Once you accept that, stacking gets so much easier. So before you buy, ask yourself a simple question. What job do I want silver to do for me? And there are really only three answers to this. And A is an emergency saving. Silver you can grab fast if things get messy. B is wealth preservation. Long-term, slow, steady protection against inflation. And C, opportunity stacking. Silver you hold for years and maybe flip during a bull run. Knowing which one you're in matters because it changes everything about what format you buy, how much you buy, how often you buy, and how you store it. So before I even spend $1, I define my purpose. Then the rest becomes shockingly simple. So my exact buying strategy. If I were starting a new stack today at $56, I would follow a 70-20-10 rule. 70% low premium generics. That's like rounds, low premium bars, rounds like Buffalo's, Sunshine Minting, Scottsdale, anything like that. And that's because the premiums are super low right now and just in general. And you get the maximum metal per dollar. And that's what we want when we're just starting. The most weight for our dollar. These premiums are so low because they are not legal tender like other coins that we can see. This is the foundation of your stack and should make up the majority of it. The next 20% goes into government bullion. Stuff like the American Silver Eagle, the Canadian Maple Leaf, and the Great British Britannia. Not for stacking in large quantities, but for liquidity and resale strength. Even at $56, Eagles with reasonable premiums still sell instantly, and they hold the best value. The last 10%, I would put it into fun silver. Now this is an optional category, and you can put this 10% into the generics or governments or split it up. Only after the first 90% of your stack is solid, and this could be things like unique coins, collectible bars, hand-poured pieces, and specially designed pieces that you love. Although I would recommend putting this 10% into junk silver just for barter situations or divisibility and things like that, but this 10% keeps stacking enjoyable. It's better to have a stack you love than one you feel forced into. So if I had about $300 to start off and I had zero money in silver, here's exactly what I would buy. 3 generic silver rounds, and that can be Buffalo's or Scottsdale or Sunshine or anything that I mentioned before. And the last thing I would buy is a government coin, maybe an Eagle, a Maple Leaf, Britannia, or whatever country you live in you can get. And this combination gives you weight, liquidity, variety, a sense of progress, and low premiums. And that's perfect beginner spread in 2025. The biggest thing to know about this is you do not need to be dropping hundreds of dollars at once. If I were starting fresh, I'd do consistent, predictable buys, even if they're small. So here's my realistic beginner structure. So for low budget, it'd be about $50 to $150 a month. This can get you about 1 to 3 ounces depending on premiums. Make sure to stick to generics, and this builds the habit of getting there weekly or monthly and buying silver. The next one is the medium budget, and that's about $200 to $400, and this can get you 3 to 6 ounces. Make sure to mix in government coins every other month or every month, just get one and stuff like that. The last one is the high budget, $500 to $1,200 a month, and this can get you about 8 to 20 ounces. And for this, use the 70-20-10 rule exact. Key here is that you don't pause just because silver jumps or dips a little. Dollar cost averaging is your best friend in high price markets. People who wait for silver to go back down to $26 will miss everything. Consistency beats timing every single time. So the number one silver to avoid when starting out, and this will save you a lot of money. When I'm starting a brand new stack, I avoid high premium collectible coins. Not because they're bad, not because they're overpriced, but because they don't do what a new stack needs. and that is build weight efficiently. The first goal should be a base of ounces, easy to sell pieces, and trusted format. Premium chasing comes later on down the road after you have an established stack. Once your base is strong, then you can buy the enjoyable niche stuff. So now that we know what to buy, we need to talk about how to store it. And this part is honestly just as important as what you buy. If I'm starting my stack today, here's exactly how I would store it. So I would start with a home safe, and you don't need a super big or expensive safe. You can start with a small $100 fireproof safe in a hidden location and keep a simple security mindset. The second thing is not having all of your silver stored in one spot. Early on, I like having a main stash, maybe a small decoy stash, and an alternative hiding spot. Things ever get messy, this structure protects you because they may not look in every single place if they already think they found it all. The last thing is to upgrade your security over time. As your stack grows, your storage should too, just like buying better tires for your car as it gets faster. So now that we're seeing all-time highs for silver, what are some things that you need to focus on? And number one is efficiency over excitement. Get ounces first and get the fancy stuff later. Second thing is liquidity over collectability. Stack what sells fast. Third thing is consistency over timing. Don't wait for dips that may never come. Just dollar cost average, and that's always will be cheaper. Simplicity over complication is the last thing. Keep stacking easy and enjoyable, and that's how you win in a high price environment. If silver is $56 today and you're thinking, is it too late? It is absolutely not. It's only too late if you never start. Every stack you see online started with 1 ounce. Every big stacker you know was once a beginner, and every bull market has people who say, I will wait. So before we wrap up, I want to give you something that most silver videos never talk about. What a silver stack actually does for you in the real world. Not theories, not hope, nothing like that. Real world situations where having silver puts you in a better position than someone who doesn't. Because when you understand the why, the how to start suddenly becomes obvious. The first thing is silver gives you options when life gets weird. Life doesn't always fall apart drastically. Sometimes it's just inconvenient. Maybe your car needs a surprise repair, maybe you lose a job, maybe an emergency bill hits at the worst time possible. A lot of people in those situations panic, but most stackers, we've got something most people don't, an asset that's liquid, trusted, and always in demand. Even at $56, a small stack can give you quick cash if needed, bargaining power, a safety net between you and debt, and peace of mind during stressful situations. You don't have to sell it, but you can. And having that option changes how you approach money in general. And the second thing is that silver helps build confidence that you cannot fake. There's a moment every single stacker experiences at some point. It might be at 10 ounces, 30, or 100, where you suddenly realize, I could handle something unexpected and I'm not helpless. That feeling is absolutely priceless. You start thinking differently about the future. You start becoming less dependent on the financial system, and you start building a little personal sovereignty. And here's the best part. You don't need thousands of ounces. You don't need a monstrous vault. You just need consistency. Every ounce adds to that confidence. Every purchase you make makes you a little bit more secure. And every smart stacking choice you make puts more distance between you and the uncertainty of the world. Silver stacking in 2025 is all about being smart, steady, and strategic. So if you follow this plan, you'll build a stack you are proud of, one that protects you, gives you peace of mind, and grows with you over time. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments below. What silver are you stacking right now? I'll see you guys in the next one.